The Say Something podcast is brought to you by amomentwithmorris.com and blackblueprints.com. That's blackblueprints with a Z.com. I am Jermaine Morris here with the one and only Mr. Barry Accius.
Yes, sir.
Bringing to you the Say Something podcast.
Say something, say something, say something.
Bringing episode 18 to your dome piece.
We gonna get by 30 by my birthday.
It's a new birthday, right?
You know what? Actually, 40 by the new birthday.
40 by the new birthday.
Which is in June for anybody that wants to give me presents. Because I do accept presents on my birthday.
PayPal?
Please.
Cash advances?
Awesome.
Visa, MasterCard, Discover. EBT cards.
Take me out to dinner. Because, you know, when you think about dinner, like a lot of women don't know how to cook like they used to back in the day, bro.
It's a lost art.
That's definitely a lost art. So, you know, take me out to a nice restaurant, something like that. Preferably black, but usually, you know, unfortunately, in these parts, there's not a lot of high-end black restaurants.
We're in Northern California, Sacramento to be exact,
yes.
The Valley, for your geography.
But there is actually a dope black-owned restaurant in Oakland.
Okay.
I forget what it was. I went to, last year I went to my birthday there, and it was dope. I was like, really? I was like, really?
Yeah, see, you're not a drinker. You don't drink?
Nah, man. I don't drink. I used to get busy. I used to get real, but nah. Yeah. I don't even get down with the boys. I look at it like this.
Okay.
And I told my friend, shouts out to my dude, Gino. I said to myself, and I talked to him because he was like, yo, man, we about to turn up for his birthday. You know, and I was like, check this out, bro. If we're moving and we're talking about going forward into a space of letting go a lot of the European ways and ideologies, one of the main things we got to let go of is that alcohol, man.
Okay.
I promise you that alcohol creates 75% of issues with black males' anger, because once you get that alcohol in your system, you know, there's all kind of mistakes, and I feel like I'm too grown at my age to be making those mistakes, so I don't mess with that alcohol at all.
I'm on the other side of that. I'm still a drinker.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wait. So Mr. Vegan.
Well,
don't eat.
I'm a vegetarian.
Okay, excuse me. Let me
little thing, but a big thing.
Let me get technical. You are Mr. Vegetarian.
I'm a vegetarian.
All right, but you still get to the brew.
Oh, I don't drink beer really, but I like good whiskey. I'm a tequila drinker.
Wait a minute, hold up, dog. Yeah. Bro, you drink hard alcohol?
Yeah.
I can't even.
Yeah, I'm not a beer drinker. I appreciate a good whiskey and a good tequila.
The last time I swung an episode with a good bottle of vodka, I woke up naked with the girl that I had picked up, and she was naked, and we both didn't know what happened.
Yeah, see, I'm not, like, I call it frat boy drinking. Like, I don't do that. I don't do the whole, let's see how hammered we can get by midnight. Like, I don't drink like that. So I drink to get myself a nice little zone.
Little buzz.
Nice little
What it is.
Yeah, I'm a grown ass man. So I'm not the dude who's stumbling, falling all over the place. You never see. But I do appreciate wine too sometimes.
I can only, like I say, I could drink a wine, I could drink a beer, but that's on a very, very occasional kind of moment. I really wake up on Fridays and Saturdays and not trip. Like before, it was like Wednesday through Sunday, let's get lit.
Yeah.
And then through the week, if I had some company, of course, the first thing that's going to be open is a bottle of wine.
Yeah, I don't drink for the turn up. Like, so I can be out socially and not drink at all. Okay. Or I can drink by myself. Like I'm one of those people that I can sit and, like, back when I've only been a vegetarian for about 2 years. Okay. So before that, if I was going out to eat a steak or eat some food,
you would order wine?
I would order a whiskey. Like, cause to me, like a Jack and Coke or something. Like, to me, I wasn't going to wash down a steak and asparagus or potatoes with a Pepsi.
I had a girlfriend.
You know what I mean? Like, soda just didn't,
I had an ex-girlfriend that just fucked with Jack Daniels heavy.
Yeah.
And I looked at her weird, like, yo, you fuck with Jack Daniels?
That's a broad right there. Like,
that's crazy.
If she taking shots of whiskey,
That's heavy shit, man.
And Jack is, if we don't get in the liquor conversation, but Jack is the base for whiskey. It's not high end. It's
that's low end shit.
It's a 2.0 student.
That's wino shit.
Well, no, it's a little bit better than that. There's some cheaper. Whiskeys.
I don't know about
it's the C student for whiskey. Like it qualifies.
You grading these motherfuckers now?
Oh, there's a huge difference in whiskey. There's a huge difference in everything.
I do understand that.
Yeah, everything is not created equal.
That is true because it was funny. Me and my man, we had went to Ruth Chris happy hour.
Okay.
And he just was like, when we were eating some of the gourmet shit, dog, that was super cheap, and he just was looking at me. He's like, this shit is just better. And I started rolling because it's just, there are things that are higher quality, and that's it.
Yeah, so they make the same with liquor. All tequilas aren't the same. All vodkas aren't the same. All whiskeys aren't the same. All cigars aren't the same. I used to smoke cigars for a while.
I used to be a heavy cigar back in high school.
And so, well, now I'm talking not like Black and Milds or I'm not talking about those cigars
with the little tips.
No. When you said high school, that's what made me think that.
Yeah, you already know.
Who
did it?
Yeah, no.
I had one time. I had a Black and Mild, and I had a 40. And I was hitting a girl from the back.
See, neither one. Like, no 40s, no Black and Milds. But
I'm just having fun with it. See, I like to sometimes people be thinking I'm just so damn serious and so damn black power. Like I don't have
you're a pretty normal guy, man.
I think because you're my friend. Sometimes you are at least. But
stop it.
I'm just saying that sometimes people just really think that I just have never
don't do normal stuff.
Yeah, I've never gotten busy like that. I just, in myself right now, currently, you know what? One of the major factors that allowed me to really halt the alcohol consumption was exactly DUIs.
Okay.
Just because it's to the point now that you drink a sip of something, they can pull you over and say, "Oh, have you been drinking, Mr. Accius?" And if you say yes, you're going to jail. I've learned that. I remember getting pulled over. And no, actually, can't even say pulled over. We was at what's those damn things called that they have?
Checkpoints.
The checkpoints in San Diego, right? And I'm with the kids. This is during my college tour, right? And I had a drink earlier. Yeah. Just because kids was at the boardwalk. I said, you know what? Let me just have a little drink, right? It was couple years back. And of course, we go in downtown San Diego. I hit a fucking DUI stop. And I'm like, oh, this is not good, right? Yeah. And so the cop stopped us, of course, normal procedure, asked me, have you been drinking? Yeah. I said, I don't drink. The cop said, you don't drink? He said, come on, you had one drink. I said, I don't drink. I said, I don't drink alcohol. Yeah. He's all, you sure? I said, sir, I don't drink any alcohol. Am I able to go? And he just looked and said, go ahead. Had I said,
I had a drink earlier, you're going to go through the whole protocol.
It wouldn't be a Say Something podcast right now.
Well, I think that, okay, so I agree with you. So, you know him, AP. AP. So, I've alleviated those. Shout out to AP out there. He the driver.
That's the guy.
That's the guy. He is the personal Uber.
That's the guy.
Yeah, if I'm out drinking, if I know what the night's gonna bring, the only keys I leave are the house keys. Like I don't even touch my car. So he'll pick me up, take me, and just to preface it too, I ain't balling. This is not a baller conversation or situation.
Yeah,
he's really the homie.
You just really have a black Porsche outside of the.
It's old. It's old though.
I mean, that's even better.
It's old though.
The older one is better probably than the newer one, even though the newer one is kind of fly.
Oh no, I love European cars.
Yeah,
I love the cars.
That Porsche thing, you know.
All right, but let's move it on. So
I'm just saying, but a lot to say about alcohol because we've pretty much advertised it, and we're not saying anything but be careful when you drink, and please don't drink and drive. And at the same time, I think that because I haven't been drinking, or I don't drink as much, like usually going to the bars and buying a drink or buying a drink for someone else, I've saved a lot of money.
That is true. I've been fortunate enough that the businesses that I've been in, I get comp stuff. So
I need to hang out with you a little bit.
Like I said, I am the most.
I guess I might be a drinker again if I hung out with you.
I am such a faux baller. Like if people's like FAUX, like if people see me, you think I got money? Nah, I just have some pretty good friends that hook it up.
True.
But when it comes to like behavior, I remember back when I was younger, we used to go out 6 nights a week.
Who didn't?
Like, but I'm saying but saying something to behavior and how we act and stuff. As you get older, you realize that there's certain things that just don't fit anymore. Right. That they don't fit your lifestyle anymore. And I don't even put it on an age. Like we always like to attach maturity to it. I think it's just your life.
Yes, sir.
Like I don't have the same life I used to have when I went out 6 nights a week.
I don't have the energy for it.
Yeah.
I really just don't. I just don't have the energy.
No desire.
The energy, no desire. I know the fuckery is going to be there.
Yeah.
The temptations are going to be there. And just that moment is going to be a situation that I don't want to be in. I feel so good every night when I'm at the crib, when I'm chilling with some good friends, or when we're doing some work in the community and relaxing afterwards. I don't even like move. You know, sometimes people have that idea and they be like, oh, I want to dance or do something that. Also, because of the fuckboy music that they have in these clubs now, what am I going to be doing in there?
I go personally. Whenever there's like the '90s party comes to town,
right
I'm there. When the DJ's spinning, you know, oh man, we're doing this '90s party. So you catch me there.
Okay.
I've graduated into that group now.
I feel that.
You know,
I definitely feel that.
I walk in this Tribe Called Quest, Naughty by Nature.
Most definitely.
I'll be out there.
But those are rarities. Those are not every damn.
Nah, but they probably have them out here probably maybe once every 2 months.
But
they've got one of those
some
parties.
of them all ain't all that fly.
No, but I'm just saying that's where you'll more likely catch me. That's where you'll catch me.
I'm all about the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, you see a 90s party come through, you'll more likely catch me on dance.
I think that's what we should do, one of them shows, like the difference between 80s and 90s music to right now.
All that stuff. We can tap into that. I think the big part is just looking at how you move in our behavior. Because like I can full on say, anybody who knew me in my early 20s, like I was just out there. Like just reckless abandon. I didn't have kids. I wasn't married to nobody. I was just out there. And there's a whole lot.
You were reckless and you still didn't have no kids in your recklessness.
Because there was some things that I was like steadfast on.
So what, you was a pull-out guy or the gym?
Oh, I was just a cotton dude. I should have bought stock in the company. Oh, they was in my glove compartment, in my backpack, in all my coat pockets, in the breast pocket. Like it was just like.
Think about talking about that.
Yeah.
When you think about that, think about the big money stocks that Negroes probably never jumped on, like something like condoms.
Yeah.
Like honestly.
Yeah. Like
how much money they making right now?
Like realistically, had I got on board with if I had the
Trojan
foresight,
Magnums,
if I had had the foresight, because like that was my thing. My big thing on it was I said I never wanted a baby mama.
Okay.
Was my belief. I wasn't anti-children.
Yeah.
I said I wanted a baby mama.
Smart guy.
Well, because I had such a, you know, I ran through relationships. Like if you was I would say I was the king of flings. I'll give you an amazing 6 weeks. Like once you get past the 2-month mark, all bets off.
Oh man!
But I'm an amazing vacation.
You like a cell phone? You only gonna get a year, huh?
Yeah, I mean, keep it real. My behavior, my 20s, I messed with a lot of married women. Like in my 20s,
messing with married women was fun, man.
But I'm saying, this is how I was living.
Yeah.
So
remember, y'all, real quick,
how
we were.
Yeah.
Not now.
Which is why I can sit there and say the way that I was living.
Don't judge us.
I said. I didn't want a baby mama. I said, if I don't want to keep her, then I've got no business having kids with her. Right. So having relationships that was 6 weeks long, 8 weeks long, that's why I was so strong on not having babies. I was like, because she ain't going to be around when the seasons change. We don't need to have a kid together. You know, but I think that going through those phases and that type of behavior, a lot of times we get quick on wanting to judge people when we hear stories about somebody doing this and that, and we forget the dirt that we tracked in the house. Like we forget the dirt under our nails. It's real easy to sit back at 45 or 50 and demonize kids for when you catch a 20-year-old smoking weed now, but you done just forgotten all that behind the locker room when you was a kid.
Yes, sir.
You know, I can't believe that you're you know,
if you never have
having sex, this and that whatever. When'd you lose your virginity, Pop? You know, like,
man.
You know what I mean? Like, but some of this behavior out there that we should mature out of, some of this stuff is just reckless.
Yeah.
So it's one thing that if you're doing something that may catch you up, you know, but it's another thing like drunk driving is not a you problem.
No.
Drunk driving is being reckless, is being trifling, and can hurt everybody.
Yes, sir.
Like drunk drivers aren't the one that die in accidents. Like statistically, because their body is so inebriated, it's relaxed. Like your muscles are really relaxed while you're drunk, and it's a natural, almost like a pain reliever, so you don't feel it. So your natural inclination to tense up isn't there. So a drunk driver gets in an accident and he just kind of bends like Gumby when the car twists and flips. Meanwhile, the family in the minivan that you just hit, nobody makes it.
Nobody makes it.
So
that's crazy too, man.
Yeah. So some of that behavior is that we charge the immaturity, or we charge the game of being young. But some of this mess we ain't got no business out here doing.
Not at all. That's why I don't subscribe to it.
Yeah. And so, looking at different people out here and stuff that I think we need to say something about is certain kind of behaviors out there that folks need to be brought before the congregation.
Man, send them and bring them to the table as we place judgment on these foul acts and these foul
thumbs
people.
Down across the Coliseum. One dude who I am happy that I'm seeing, he got his walking papers over at his network.
A celebration is due.
There's a lot of folks he's been way
it's
overdue.
Like what is it? What The Rock said? Finally, Bill O'Reilly has got fired by Fox.
Yeah. For all of the multiple sexual.
Let's say that again. Multiple.
We're not talking. And prefacing, this is the same man who was relieved of his duties from Fox News for the multiple sexual assault allegations. Is the same guy who got on board and roasted Ludacris.
Oh, he's roasted him off.
Ludacris, when he had the Pepsi commercial, and
Cameron and him had a good spar. That was kind of interesting.
Talk about how he, horrible human being and all this other stuff.
Called Mark Lamont a drug dealer.
Bill Cosby.
Oh yeah, young Bill. Bill, you got some company, brother. But here's the difference between him and Bill Cosby. Unfortunately, Bill O'Reilly is going to land another job. But go ahead.
But my thing is when you're the guy claiming like you all got some moral high ground on a similar subject.
Yes,
that's the dude who's sitting there saying you're the worst horrible human being.
Yes.
How could you ever do drugs? And then you've been popped multiple times for coke possession.
Listen, can I tell you one thing?
What's that?
White privilege matters. But go ahead.
I'm just saying. But so for him, he got relieved of his duties, and this was a dude who was just notoriously talked about how he just recently coming off of the Maxine Waters, where he was just blatantly disrespectful to a woman who's been serving the community and the people for 40 years. And when he made the comment about her hair, I couldn't hear past any of her educated and insightful points because of her James Brown wig.
And when I seen that, and when he said it, and how the rest of his, colleagues didn't jump at.
Nobody did.
Didn't jump at checking him. You saw the fact that white privilege kicked in, but that invincibility that you can't touch me because I've already paid off millions of dollars.
Yeah, I'm good.
And I know that I'm making Fox billions of dollars. I can say whatever, whenever, and at the same time, the country has changed because guess what? Donald Trump is in office. And guys like Bill O'Reilly, with the rhetoric that they spit, is the reason why Trump is in. And from the time that he got suspended before now, the recent firing, they said the viewership went down 23%.
Yeah, they people were like, oh, he's going to be gone at first because of the sponsorship pulls.
Yeah.
Well, kind of the way it works is that advertisers and stuff have deals with the network, so not necessarily the specific show. So they were pulling the ads from O'Reilly's show, but they were just circulating them to other comparable shows, so they were still getting their viewership for their ads. So they weren't losing money on that end. That's why he was still around during a lot of these issues. Then it just got to the point to where the viewership numbers changed. And then that's when it becomes a pocketbook conversation. And then that's when you become more trouble than you're worth.
Hey, I totally agree. But in the same sense, when you have to look at a guy's history like this, right? It's just besides the disrespect of certain communities, the fact that he had no respect for the women and how these men, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's why a lot of the reasons we talk about what's going on with our black men and our black women? Where did it all go wrong? It's like we're watching some of these guys walk unchecked and thinking that it's okay for us to do the same. Like we're adopting these kind of behaviors, and it's not right. So when you see a guy like Bill O'Reilly just almost walk in invincibility, you're saying to yourself, like, how is this guy getting away with it when Bill Cosby, we're talking about, and I am not justifying anything that Bill did. Matter of fact, I was one of those people that said, hey, if he did it, get rid of him.
Yeah.
But the years, the decades of these charges come up, his whole career is tarnished.
Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly, pass after pass after pass after pass. And even in the just of, I just saw a funny meme of Maxine, and it says, hey Bill, how you like my wig now?
Yeah, I saw it.
But the funny and ironic part of this whole thing is his rhetoric is rhetoric that Americans need. White America loves that rhetoric. You will find Bill O'Reilly somewhere making more money.
Yeah, because with Fox News, he may just go the route of Howard Stern.
Yeah,
take it to like the equivalent of like Sirius or something. He's if Rush Limbaugh is still working.
Oh, most definitely.
Imus was working and Stern was. Bill O'Reilly ain't going nowhere.
He's not going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
But it's going to be a little bit of tone deaf. Because remember when what's his name? The whole thing happened. I think it was Imus when he was talking about black girls.
Nappy-headed hoes.
And he's such an old, fragile, broken white guy that when you hear him say that, you almost laugh at it, even though it's serious.
Yeah.
But you're laughing. It's like, look at this guy. But again, you said it. Rush Limbaugh, I remember him getting fired from ESPN for some of his antics. And then he's kind of took more of the route of an underground surface. That's all Bill going to do. Bill's still going to make a lot of money.
Rush Limbaugh, he's still front running when it comes to commentary for the Republican Party. He's got all his lobbyists that he works with, and he's got fat pockets. But we start seeing the backlash to behavior. Bill O'Reilly is speaking to the Trump supporters. A lot of his rhetoric is to the Trump supporters. But I think something that was interesting that just happened was the New England Patriots. So they won the Super Bowl, and right after the Super Bowl, you heard Martellus Bennett and a couple of players were saying that I'm not going to the White House next year. I'm not even. It's not even on my radar. I don't even. This dude does not represent me nor the nation that I believe America is about. Yeah. So I'm just not effing with it.
Yeah.
And there was a debate between Martellus Bennett not going, and they talked about Brady who didn't go when Obama was there. And there was this kind of going back and forth about why would you say something about this one player and not another. Well, the New England Patriots just showed up, and nearly 24 players didn't show up for the White House. That's everybody from Tom Brady to Danny Amendola, LeGarrette Blount, like starters. We're not talking about the third string kicker.
Danny wasn't there?
Danny wasn't there either. It was
Danny was the one that made the catch, right?
One of them. He was
the one catch with the jump.
If it wasn't Amendola, it was White. But neither one of them was there.
But the funny thing about it is because I'm trying to figure out who he said someone's name and he was looking for him, and I don't think he was there.
Yeah. Like I said, on a football team, if you don't follow football, you're talking about a 53-man roster. Yeah. So when 22 dudes,
I think it was like 30 people in the show, bro.
Well, it was like
that's what I'm hearing. That it was like something like 30 or something.
Maybe there's coaches or something, whatever.
All type of differences.
But there was damn near the entire starting roster didn't show up. And so you had 20 some odd players of the 53-man team didn't even bother to make the trip because the rhetoric that's spouted by this dude, his behaviors, his ways, the way this is the same president who this very same week and in a public gathering, a little kid came up with a Make America Great hat with the little red caps they have and asked him for an autograph. Trump got the hat from the kid, signed the autograph, then threw the hat into the crowd. Didn't even give it back to the kid who handed it to him. Hey. Like, this is the trifling ass behavior of Donald J. Trump, this here 45th elected president of these here United States of America.
When I saw because for whatever reason, this was really a big deal, right? And I saw some of the highlights of the visit of New England Patriots to the White House. I think everybody from Kraft, Belichick to Donald Trump to the players, it was one of the most uncomfortable celebrations of championship that you ever saw at a White House. I mean, I think the only person that was comfortable was Gronk because he's just Gronk, right? But it was just uneasy. I mean, Donald Trump was trying to make jokes and it just didn't sit well. I mean, you saw the faces in the background, and they just kind of seemed like, let's hurry up and get this shit over with. It was almost embarrassing to watch that. And shouts out to everybody that stood and held their ground and said they're not coming. And it's not a fact of disrespecting the president, but I don't think that in this type of world we live in now, that we should, just because someone has a title, respect them. Respect is earned. And if a person is disrespecting so many people and contradicting himself daily, and not really being precise on what his agenda is, because in one moment, Donald Trump is saying, hey, let's make America great again.
Yes.
I state this. Well, when was America ever great? And what does that mean? What does that statement, make America great, mean? Please answer that.
Yeah.
Then in another moment, you're saying, hey, well, what do blacks have to lose? I get that part. But then at the same time, you're sitting there saying, we need to take all these immigrants out. And guess what? We're going to go ahead and bomb Syria because of the inhumane things that they're doing to their people. And then you turn around with all the inhumane things that are going on in the United States currently, right now, on a daily, and the stuff that he has come out of his mouth, the rhetoric, the conversations that he sparked because of Donald Trump. Because of Donald Trump, you have racism in the face of so many non-whites that it's almost feeling like we're back in the 60s. And I'm not saying that it was never here, because it was.
Yeah.
But it's now more prevalent to where we're having more and more clashes. Just recently in Berkeley, you had another clash of, the neo-Nazis, but also Trump supporters versus the anti-Trump supporters, and people that are saying that, we're not going to live in this country with this racist rhetoric or a racist president or these racist feelings.
Yeah, when you're just reckless with it, when you just real loose at the lips, when you just kind of say whatever pops in your head at a given time.
He definitely says something.
Yeah, he says a lot, but I don't know if he's saying something. True. And that stuff becomes inflammatory. You'll hear that word used in the sense of, you get feelings up. You start inciting stuff. It's what words have power. It's why it's against the law to go into a crowded movie theater and yell fire. Like, what you can incite and the emotions that you can spark and the damage that can be done just by some words coming out your mouth is crazy. And when you hold the most powerful position on the planet, you got to be extra tight-lipped and all this loose stuff. You got North Korea saying, we're going to go to war because of your president. Like, his loose, blatant, flippant, trifling ass ways is what the problem is. Like, we're not saying we have an issue with your foreign policy. We have an issue with your economic standpoint, or you not backing up these nations. No, we don't like him. And because we don't like him, we don't like you. He's the face of the franchise. So if we got to take shots at him, that's all, anybody can get it. And because of what's going on with him, you have the issues where they were having the Russian planes that were found that were met by U.S. fighter jets over Alaska.
That was crazy.
You got the issues with the bombings in Syria, the bombing in Afghanistan.
He dropped the biggest non-nuclear bomb in the world. That's like he dropped what they call the mother of bombs.
Yeah. And
it was like, okay. And I think it's such that male machismo and that ego to say, well, I'm Donald Trump and this is America. You're not going to push us. But in reality, a lot of us Americans or those who want to, be subscribed to that word, we don't care about what's going on in other countries as long as we're getting our needs met here in this country, and that's not happening. So now you're going to, it's almost kind of like you got a stick and you're swinging at a pit bull, but the pit bull is behind the fence.
Yeah.
And you think you're safe until you find out that fence is open.
Yeah.
Right? And now what you going to do?
Yeah, this is the same president who said that he bombed Syria because Syria gassed its own people. So just bomb. I mean just to follow the logic. So you're saying I'm going to bomb this nation because of the way that it has inflicted heinous acts upon its own people. Yeah. The same nation that is currently still have Flint, Michigan drinking contaminated, poison urine-colored water through the faucets. The same nation that we incarcerate more people in the United States than anywhere on the planet.
Negroes still going to jail every day.
I mean, the same nation that, regardless of how much money and its foothold as an economic power, the poverty line, the constantly just decline and almost just vanishment of the middle class, the corrupt and horrible educational system. Like,
what the new housing market is? In cities, it's tent city. But go ahead.
Any nation who followed the logic that he followed to bomb Syria would be well within their rights to bomb the United States.
Oh, for sure.
Based upon the way you're treating your own people.
Yes, sir.
We are going to do this to you to teach you a lesson.
Yes, sir.
Just this loose talk, these trifling ass ways is stuff that needs to be looked into, that needs to be checked. And because we're talking about this on a global scale.
Very much so.
If you're not doing your math, if you're not checking the scorecard, in the last 21 days, you're talking about the bombings in Syria. You're talking about the bombing in Afghanistan. You're talking about the fighter jets over Alaska. Yeah. Like, this is getting closer. America's had the luxury of geography for a long time.
Very much so.
That we haven't had to worry about stuff directly happening. This is a global world now, a global economy, global everything. The world's a lot smaller now.
Yes, sir.
It's getting closer to home every day.
And the world also looks at how weak the bully is now.
Yeah.
They've paid attention to how we are not as together as we used to, or at least the picture seemed like there was more control in America, right?
Yeah.
The picture looked like it was good, that they could not come in here and just move and shake, especially when you look at 9/11.
Yeah.
You thought America was united. Yeah. But now, as you look at all of the different things, America's so divided, so separated, so many different things that we don't agree on, and we look weaker than we've ever been.
Yes.
And at the same time, because of the foreign trades and all the different things that we have moved over to other countries, right? We've downsized and we said, you know what? I'm going to go do it cheaper over here.
Yeah.
We've opened ourselves for that vulnerable point where now there's a lot more people that can come in and out, right?
Yeah.
Some of us can't go there. You talked about that the other day, about not every person in America that thinks they can just be shitty here in America is going to go to another country. Yeah. Just like we said, okay, open up the doors. And I think that's what Trump is trying to stop. But we've done so much heinous things to other countries, creating wars, saying that it's for humanity, when really it's about greed, money, and power, that payback and the fact that people look at it like, well, why don't we do something and come on the holy land of America and bring war to us?
Yeah, because... Okay, so if you go back to the Reagan administration and first Bush, that America was Suge Knight in the 90s. Yeah. Like, if first George, if he said, I'm going to drop a bomb, you can go ahead and fire up the Gap Band, because it's about to go down. Like, if you dropped a bomb on me.
Baby, hey.
Yeah, it's about to go down. Reagan Reagan and first Bush, it's going down. Like, everyone in the globe knew that America's going to drop a bomb with reckless abandon. It was Suge Knight in the 90s. Clinton administration was a lover, not a fighter. He was not involved in foreign policy, foreign affairs. He wasn't into business like that. And that's why America wasn't spending so many trillions of dollars in all these other places. That's why America's infrastructure became so solid.
But he sure was Puff Daddy, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was Puff Daddy.
Oh yeah. He was can't stop.
Exactly. He was definitely Diddy.
Yeah.
Because though, as you said, in particular, he was a lover and he danced around a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He still was gangster as well.
Oh yeah. What I'm saying, he was gangster at home.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the global presence, all Bill's focus was here. Even when you go into the crime bill, which led to 3 strikes in specific states and the mass incarceration, the mandatory minimums and all that stuff, he was handling in-house issues. He wasn't handling who's doing this in this country over here for this. He wasn't on that.
Yeah.
You know. So then when you got Junior Bush in, policies changed.
Yes, sir.
Only he was willing to drop a bomb, but because he wasn't strategic like his daddy or even like Reagan, he was just willing to do it.
Yeah.
So then that put the fear back a little bit in there. Like, nah, he gonna drop bombs on people. His bombs over Baghdad. You can get Big Boy and Andre out here. And then you get Obama was not trying to. Obama was handling strategic things.
Yeah.
He said, I don't need to blanket your entire
But he did
country.
drop bombs.
He was dropping bombs, but he was like, I'm trying to drop bombs here, but I'm still trying to look like a nice guy.
But at the end of the day, he wasn't announcing it like Trump announced.
This guy that's in there right now, there is nothing covert.
He's tweeting. He's about to drop.
Yeah, he's tweeting. Hey, at the corner of Jalal and Excelsior and Syria, bring your umbrellas out because it's about to be some rain falling. And so
he is the most attention-seeking president that we've ever had.
This trifling ass, this attention whore that is now, Donnie J. Trump, the dude who's in there, is this is what I'm talking about. We got to watch it. So he's at the top. He's at the pinnacle of trifling ass behavior with real world ramifications. But there's a lot of people out there who may not have the fate of the free world in their hands, but are still out here living reckless.
Very reckless.
We're going to use one extreme, like I said, as the president for the stuff that he's doing. But then let's take it a little closer to home, like to the everyday man.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to how you are in your community, at your job. I can't count how many jobs I work with people. So I ain't come here to work. I ain't here to try. I'm just here to get this check and go on and go home.
That's half of America.
Who's raising your kids? I don't know. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
She'll be okay.
Yeah, definitely. They see it every day.
You call your wife today? Who? Got you a wife, girlfriend, baby mama, and a side chick.
Hey.
Shout out to Carmelo.
Listen. What was the line he used? Is that real that he said that? That is real.
So Carmelo Anthony, married to Lala Anthony. Lala, she's if you're older, you know her as Megan Good's friend in Think Like a Man 2. She was Megan Good's best friend in those movies. If you're a little on the younger side, you might remember from MTV or BET stuff.
Well, if you know her from right now, she's on Power and she showed her tits.
Well, I'm just trying to blanket the age.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
And they look good.
Oh, Lala prosper in these streets. She got her own paper influence as well.
She done came up.
And she married a man who just re-upped on a 9-figure contract. So
go back into now.
That's what I'm saying. So the reason why I preface that first is to show how stupid and trifling this is. So Carmelo Anthony plays for the New York Knicks. Rather than chase a ring or make a move that made better sense for his career, he took the money. So he took a 9-figure deal with the Knicks. He worth $100 million on that contract for the Knicks. He's married to Lala. Yeah. Lala's not his baby mama or his girlfriend. Married. 7 years now, which is common in any state that in the United States. So
I think they've been together for 10.
Yeah, but they're married 7.
Yeah, married 7.
So if their residency is New York or is California or Florida, wherever they claim residency, is irrelevant.
Yeah.
So he just he got a stripper out of New York is pregnant with his baby. And so when he was questioned about it, apparently his infidelities aren't new.
Nah.
But he should have had enough sense, especially when you married to a woman and you just signed a $100 million contract, she getting half. And so the thing was like, and Lala's beautiful. But his response was, she's married. I'm not. She better not be out here letting folks know what that mouth do. But I'm out here wild for the night.
But isn't that the common denominator for every man to have that kind of attitude to say, this is my block, no one can walk over it, but I will go to everyone else's block, piss, shit, do whatever the hell I want to do.
Yeah, I can pick on my brother, but don't nobody else say that to him.
I'm territorial.
Yeah. So he was like, the way that he was treating it, if Lala was just maybe a cute girl in a small town with no access or resources, you might try to flex on her. But Lala was established when she met it.
Wait, hold on.
But here's what.
Say what he said one more time, because this got to be one of the lines of the year.
His was, she's married, I'm not. So his mindset is, he said, basketball players, we're on the road, we have all these access and opportunity. Man. Like, this is what we do. You the wife and mother of my son.
Shut your ass up, chick, and stay and play your role and take care of my kids.
Exactly.
While I have sex with all these other strippers.
Exactly. Mind your business. Mind your
damn business, lady.
Watch your mouth. And so, but
oh my God,
Lala can prosper in these streets on her own.
Oh yeah, she can.
And she about to come up. See, this is the big one. Lala Anthony is not Vanessa Bryant.
No.
So Vanessa Bryant was married to Kobe, and when Kobe got caught cheating, Vanessa Bryant's only claim to fame is being Mrs. Kobe Bryant.
That's what it is.
That's not the case for Lala.
But I think what she was about to try to break through and do some things, but Kobe deaded that out.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
jumped back like, no, this ain't happening.
Yeah, all she is Mrs. Kobe Bryant.
Definitely right now.
Lala, movies, TV shows, already had a radio career. Yeah. She used to do the radio show with Luda back once upon a time. Like she already established. She's well known. She's got connections. She's got the plug.
She built her brand.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be Mrs. Carmelo Anthony for opportunities.
Especially that Mr. Carmelo Anthony is on his way out.
Yeah, she don't need none of that.
He's not LeBron James.
But she's about to get a Carmelo payday.
Bro, say that line one more time.
She's married. I'm not.
If that doesn't get put on somebody's t-shirt, and let's go into the Carmelo Anthony thing. Because when I was watching the Knicks again have another horrible year, and I was listening to the words of Phil Jackson, because Phil Jackson is not a fan.
Not one bit.
Now you see why, right? No disrespect to Carmelo, because I still think he has that type of it factor, being put on the right team.
He's a star.
No. He's a star, but he needs stars around him that are at a higher echelon.
He's not a complete player, but he's
not definitely. You can't build your whole team around Carmelo.
Defensive liability.
It's done. Right?
He'll get 45, older, but his dude will get 40.
He ain't gonna even get 45. He's gonna get a good 25. On a good night, good 30, but you do not want to say Carmelo Anthony, and now I'm going to put my whole franchise on him. Yeah. That's a wrap. That's done. He's getting too older. It's over with. But now, because see, here's the funny thing about what we're learning now. A lot of what they do and what they're supposed to do in that small circle, even though we think it's a big circle, it's very small. Yeah. So I'm sure Phil was hearing the rumbling. Right? So while we're sitting here like, why is Phil going so hard on Carmelo like this? Yeah. Phil is probably like, well, hey guys, I'm not going to talk too much about Carmelo Anthony's business, but the reason why this dumb fuck can't get it together is because he's so caught up in scandals, and I'm having to deal with this situation with his wife. That's why, because when you look at it, a lot of times when you watch a player start diving down low, you're trying to figure out what's going on. It's usually drugs, it's infidelity, or it's something that happened that's so tragic. Then when a 30-30 comes out, you're like, that's what happened to that person.
If you take, so one of the things that I do know that has come up in the issue with Phil and Carmelo is, first and foremost, he doesn't like his game. So just from the basketball standpoint, Phil doesn't like him as a player.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing of that. But you were willing to say, I can work with it if you know that his character is something to where we can maybe work and mesh around
this is
together.
Why the next part is important to that first part. So he didn't care for his game as a former coach to a player. Now, if you're bought it, if you're all in, you make the concessions. You'll say, okay, Rick Fox was a great defender, but he wasn't an offensive juggernaut. You know, you played it what somebody's skill set is. It got to the point, though, with Phil. Phil took the job not really wanting it. Yeah. He originally wanted the L.A. job, and then the rug got pulled out from under him. He took the payday. Yeah. So not liking Carmelo's game, and then he doesn't like Carmelo.
Yeah.
So Phil's been on this campaign to get fired. Because if he quits, he forfeits the 30-40 million he still owed from the Knicks.
And they just signed him up for the 2 years.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you quit, you forfeit.
Yeah, I get that. Piece.
But if you get fired, you get sent home and you get the check.
And you get the check.
So part of it with Carmelo is that I don't care for the way he plays. I don't like him personally. So that's why he's the go-to guy that I'm going to roast publicly to force the owner's hand to get rid of me.
But at the end of the day, now you kind of know, because like I said, it's not, to us, it's kind of like, wow, what the story is, it broke. But in those archives, because people know people, things happen, and everyone is pillow talking, and everyone knows. Yeah. And trust me, Phil, as being the guy there, I guarantee you the wave. And when you're watching the structure of how Carmelo Anthony was always deflecting from it, you looked at Carmelo Anthony and was like, what's really going on? And you've heard rumors before about him and his wife going outside of their marriage, right? You've done heard that. So to hear this now, watching the Knicks be a soap opera as usual, right? For any Knicks fan that thought Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah was going to be the saviors, and, you know, Carmelo Anthony and that the new big three, like, stop it. It's over with. You now, as Phil Jackson, at least in my perspective, my eye, you don't feel as bad when you listen and you look at what he was saying. Not saying that it was correct or right, but Phil probably knew that I can't take a piece of shit, because I've already dealt with another piece of shit, Kobe Bryant, but there was a better upside to Kobe Bryant compared to
better business.
Kobe, right now Carmelo Anthony, right? It's definitely that part. I mean, you have to understand, because the funny thing about some of these women that continue to date these ball players and these actors, these rappers, and constantly want to cry a river after the fact, I say, why are you dealing with all these Negroes who you know have more access than a little bit? Come home and come deal with brothers like us who don't have that much access, right? Yeah. That we have to kind of fight and scratch to get what we get and live a happy life.
Yeah, because so saying something to that is so I get first off, the payday. I get if
but if you got money, why does it matter? No, but like Halle Berry, it's time to come home.
No. Okay, I'm not okay. So that's a little different. But I'm saying first off, I get the woman's attraction to a guy who's got status, a guy who's on a billboard, he's on the cover of magazines.
So you can't get mad at the results.
Well, no, but I'm saying so. That's what I'm saying. But going into to your point, so I'm saying I understand that draw, especially if the dude is 28 and he's worth $150 million. I get it. But I know a lot of people who like if you take LA. So most people who live in LA, they'll tell you, if they're actors, athletes, entertainers, you get your significant other from wherever you came from. Like, because LA is a transplant city. Sir. Most people who are there aren't from there. It's like Atlanta or it's like Vegas. So if you made it on Hollywood, if you on a TV show, if you that's why they made the big deal about Kendrick, because this girl's not dark skinned. But that's his boo from the beginning. Now, he happened to be from Compton, but he didn't get him a Hollywood starlet that comes with the money. J. Cole didn't get the Hollywood starlet that came with the money. Like, you get you the girl, and from the small town or from the neighborhood, like, you have enough presence of mind of realizing the value. When you're the person who's like, I'm going to go for the it girl, I want to go for the it guy, then there's some bull it that comes with it, if that's what you want to get yourself into. But it doesn't always
work. I mean, look at Chris Brown's situation. You know, his ex-girlfriend, that dude is like lovesick over that chick. Right?
Yeah, but
I'm just saying, it doesn't always go around like that.
I think that's a little bit different, because that's the girl that was around with all the other chicks he was cheating with. That was the resident side chick.
But now Karrueche has made a name for herself.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but that's a side chick that got pulled up to the start.
What about Shaq O'Neal?
Shawnee O'Neal?
Yeah, I mean, Shaq O'Neal had his wife, and then they did the split, and now she's like one of the mothers, the godmothers of the ratchet shows, what Basketball Wives.
Yeah, but that's a Carmelo situation.
she wasn't popping like that. Like
no. I'm talking about the extra curricular.
But listen, the whole thing about it. But it's all of the situations. No. Not trying to be
No. Keep it with what you're saying.
Real.
No. I'm saying for that example, when I'm talking about getting somebody like the hometown person, I'm saying for the women of the same mentality. Like I'm saying, I understand why you want to get with Shaq, you want to get with Carmelo because they got money, but get you a solid dude. To the people who are famous, get you a solid.
But how can you get? I totally disagree with you because you're talking about who's solid when you get all that pussy thrown at you.
What do you mean who's solid?
Who's solid?
You saying there's no famous solid people? All famous people gotta be.
Now, all those love scenes that Denzel had with an old girl who was married to Robin Thicke, right? Those wasn't by coincidence, dog. Robin Thicke's wife.
Oh yeah,
ex-wife.
Paula.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay, yeah, all right.
I didn't say Denzel was the motto.
But he's one of the only guys that has had his woman for tenure, like for a while.
That's probably more understanding, similar to a Will Smith.
So basically, at the same time, you're saying that okay. Solid dude is the solid dude that say, hey, baby, we have understanding. I'm going to hump a few of these chicks. No. But I'm going to come back home.
Well, two things. One, first off, whatever the relationship means to you. Because some people are okay with open relationships. So, I'm just got to put that first. See, if you're the type of couple that you're okay with that, then that's you. I'm not to tell you that how they're just. I'm saying I
don't think they're okay with it. I think some of them just kind of realize that's what it's supposed to be.
But that's allegedly the Will and Jada thing. Like
allegedly.
That's what I'm saying. So don't do nothing that disrespects the family, but I get why you out there. Like there's some people who have that kind of understanding.
Just make sure you keep it in her coochie, just don't put it in her ass.
Whatever. Don't come home with no babies. Don't be on the front page with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so there are some people who that's what they're okay with. What I'm talking about, there are people who have access who can still be solid. You know what I'm saying? Like
T.I.?
I don't know the man, but
I'm being very sarcastic.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, but we're picking the people who are famous with problems. But I think the other part is that there's probably all kinds of people with access.
You would have thought Carmelo had that moment where he was a young, fun, ran around guy. Even though it doesn't fool me, because I think all these dudes got a little bit of Negro still in them. That he had a solid wife. He actually went to New York for him and his wife to brand, and he still got caught with his dick in a cookie jar.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, so what I'm saying, Carmelo Anthony was the same guy with LeBron, with Chris Paul, with D-Wade, talking about making the change. The same guy that when his coach was shitting on him, took the back route. And now the same guy that is looked at as, say that quote again.
Yeah, she's married, I'm not.
Best quote I've heard.
I'm saying
this year.
I think we're in agreement on Carmelo. I'm simply saying there are people out there.
Oh my God.
There are people out there who have access who are still solid. And when I mean solid is to the relationship that the two people agreed upon.
I guess.
So the better question is, are you saying nobody's solid?
Hey, brother, let me tell you something. I'm going to speak upon the fact that these Negroes, these men, white boys, Mexicans included, the type of traffic that goes in and out, the type of time spent away from their significant other, there has to be a hellified connection, a hellified attitude of I am not, and some real trust level with all that time and all of that goodness coming back and forth for a man who's been on the road, who's being stressed out, who's feeling that he just wants to unwind. No one's going to know to say, no, I can't. I'm just saying, especially being at the ages that they're at.
I get that. So your answer is no.
Listen, my brother. I'm not saying that it is impossible, but I'm saying that it's impossible. If you understand what I'm saying.
I just know maybe I just have a little more faith.
I don't have that. I don't have no faith in any of those players.
Well, no.
Because there's like you got Carmelo Anthony. Like here's my thing. Here's my preference. I'm thinking. If some of these dudes' lifestyles, and we were just talking about it earlier, about how can't even tell you the last time I went to a strip club, right? Yeah. I can't tell you, or the fact that I had a desire to go to a strip. I don't have those things. They do. And even if I had money, I wouldn't have a desire. Okay. So it's like you're asking for trouble when you go walk into the strip club. You got these ball players like I've heard what Dwight Howard had like something like 8 babies or some craziness like that. It's some high number. It's something wild. And all of these guys, I mean, they trade chicks like baseball cards. I mean, they're in all these different cities. Let me ask you this question since you're asking me questions. Yeah. You being who you are right now. Yeah. If you were being flown out every 2 to 3 days in a month, different city, all the time, spent maybe about 3 or 4 days here at home, but you're always traveling. Yeah. And you had a chick. You had your wife, girlfriend, whatever. Are you telling me, and you have access? Yeah. You're not going to use the access?
I would like to think that if I got to the point to where I got married, no. But I've had a life where I was traveling and I was dating some people.
And what were you doing?
When I was single, I was single. No. But I'm saying, but when I was, I wasn't.
But how long wasn't?
Almost 2 years.
2 years. So you wasn't for 2 years.
I wasn't no extracurricular.
Okay, so when you were together, so you said 2 years.
Yeah, almost.
Okay, so you did nothing.
There was no extracurricular.
And you were traveling. Access.
Yeah, always access.
Okay, and nothing.
Nothing. Because I made a conscious effort to make that relationship work. This is probably about 5. So because of all the
different times, social media wasn't that big.
Well, because maybe not. There was no.
And that's another thing. Social media plays such the trick in a lot of this as well.
But going to your question, so when I was out there, that was the whole mindset. When I made a conscious decision to be in a committed relationship, it was because I had a history. I knew what the short game looked like. So I was like, there's no question of what's out there. I already knew the answer. But what I'm saying is not just athletes, because if you take guys who were in sales, you take IT dudes, they travel just as much. Yeah. But I'm saying that there's people who travel half the year.
And they're buying pussy.
In multiple businesses.
And they're buying a pussy.
There's a percentage of them that are. Yes. That's what I'm saying. So my question is, so by that logic, there's just nobody solid. Nobody with access.
Let me tell you something. Like I said before. And in the era of social media that gets brothers and sisters caught up in that inbox, that DM, whatever you want to call it, it is easier access to go to a Tennessee, look up, oh, hey, got some friends in Tennessee, and hook up. It's easier for a person to put themselves out there compared to what it was before. You can kind of lie about anything nowadays. No, I get that. And I just say that it's a lot more difficult. And if you're not coming from a place where your foundation at home is solid, dog, you're in trouble.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing on that. I'm just simply saying that I believe that there are some dudes that are out there, not even just ball players, because I think ball players get a bad rap. They're the
Oh, really?
No.
Let me just feel bad for the ball players.
No, as in that they're the pace car for infidelity. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're the ones. I know more police officers who cheat, firefighters who cheat, paramedics who cheat.
Police officers are pimping girls.
No, but I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I'm taking it off of ball players because they're always the initial go-to. I was like, there's people effing at every profession. Yeah. I think the most hoes I ever worked with was bartenders, waiters, and waitresses.
Well, come on, man.
Well, no, but I'm saying
that's like they're getting. It's like handed to them.
Well, but I'm saying, but that's why I said I'm not zeroing in on ball players. Yeah. But I think that just has to do with who you are and what type of relationship you and that other person agree upon. I think that there are solid people who stay within the lines of what their relationship is to them. You know, if you get your extracurricular, I know people who are like, hey, just don't embarrass me. And they're not famous, they're not rich, they're not whatever.
Cheating. You know what I mean? I mean, cheating is cheating. I mean, we're let's.
Well, because I think it's cheating because I think it's cheating when the deceit part. Okay. But sleeping with somebody else may not be cheating in that particular relationship.
You don't really want to hear my views on it, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I think cheating, when we look at it, it definitely is not just based on people of these higher professions that have money. I mean, it's bottom line. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying the access, right? You as a man, when you are at that level where you're being seen and you're a figure, it doesn't even take you saying something. Someone's going to say something to you. No pun intended.
No, I get it.
Real. And it's just how I feel like that's why they get caught up and trapped more. I mean, you hear these guys, you know, having these multiple babies, and then they're having these multiple sex tapes, and they're passing out multiple chicks. Like I said, baseball cards or candy on Halloween. So you have to sit there and say, like, damn, you guys got to think a little bit more smarter. And when you see a guy like Carmelo Anthony, who you believe and you hope has matured out of that, because in the same of having all that money, you've had good runs, you still say, in the same sense, just because they have a lot of money don't mean they make smart decisions.
No, not at all.
At all.
The two don't necessarily go together at all. But I think that when it comes to the decisions that we make out there, some of that stuff is going to change and curve through the maturity. Some of that stuff is going to be process and elimination of what works for you or what doesn't.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you're 22, getting drunk every day may fit your day. Getting high till 2 in the morning and sleeping till 2 in the
till I die.
Yeah, and then sleep until 2 in the afternoon may fit what your lifestyle looks like at 22 or 23. But now at 47, with 2 kids trying to maintain a mortgage and keep your job, your life has changed. So some of your behavior has to change. I think that some of this stuff out there, if you want to be reckless to you, you know, that's going to be your business and your prerogative. I just think that it's important to focus on what we do and how we move and how it affects other people. You know, you talk about, you know, a loose talking president can lead to World War III.
Man.
You know, inability to keep it in your pants can destroy a family and a home.
Yes, sir.
If you can't keep your mouth shut, maybe you shouldn't have this position. If you can't keep yourself shut, then maybe you shouldn't put yourself in a family structure where you can alter and affect so many other people. You know, make those proper decisions for the life it is that you want to live. And when we out here doing stuff and out here seeing stuff, I think sometimes it's stuff that we got to say something about.
Say something, say something, say something.
I'm Jermaine Morris here with the one and only Mr. Barry Accius.
Yes, sir.
Where can folks find you social media wise?
Barry Accius, BerryAccius. That's Facebook, and that's the Twitter and Instagram is at Team Void.
I'm Jermaine Morris on Facebook, and every other social media platform is at JMorrisCEO. If you're hearing the podcast, if you see it on Facebook, see it on SoundCloud, hit like on the page. Leave a comment if you agree with what's going on with the show, or even if you don't. You know, we like to get some of your input, some of your feedback.
And you know, at the end of the day, just say something.
Just say something. Say something. So I'm Jermaine Morris here with the one and only Mr. Barry Accius.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you wait on me.
Wait on you. Sir. And until the next show, man, we'll holler at you later.